Am I the only one thinking that Ali's actually a nasty piece of work? Big Brother UK episode 7 and Days and Lily were tied to the stairs for breaking the rules. Let's be honest, Days would have been taking this in her absolute stride. Personally, I need to pee a lot, so I maybe would have had to have peed myself, and I also would hate to be tied to Lily. Nathan, Emma, Ali and Rosie also got in trouble for speaking about nominations, and to be honest, I wish that they were just allowed to speak about it. Like, I don't see why you can't just turn around to somebody and say, do you know what, you're a cunt, I'm nominating you, or I hope the public vote for you because you're annoying as fuck. Like, I don't understand why it has to be a big secret. It would be way more dramatic if you could just turn around and tell people what you thought of them. Lily was in the kitchen cooking, and there is not one fucking hope in hell that I would eat anything that she cooked. She sits and picks her nose and eats it. She was standing cutting the chicken with her hair down. I was just like, she is a total health and safety hazard. No way, mate. Honestly, I'd rather fucking starve. It was time for the first head of household competition, Murder on the Dance Floor, and when it came down to the final two contestants, whoever had the most people standing behind them won, and Khaled won, and Lily was fucking raging. And do you know what? She is an entitled, selfish, childish little fucking bitch, and a lot of people in the late and live show love her, and they want her to win. But I just genuinely can't stand her. And she's got a cheek because it showed you who she voted for in the late and live show. And one of her nominations was Shaggin. And she says, oh, he stands and like sings and dances and like taps his thighs. And I just don't find them funny. Well, do you know what, Lily? I don't fucking find you funny. Khaled also won a 10-minute party with some of the housemates. And when he came into the other room, he kind of said, oh, sorry, I kind of feel bad. Ali was just a pure bitch to him. And she's like, oh, you don't have to give a speech, like, just pure attitude. And a lot of people on Facebook and other platforms are saying, oh, people are going to be easily influenced by her because she's a psychologist and they're going to think that she knows what she's talking about. Just because she's a psychologist doesn't mean that she's got a fucking clue what she's talking about. Like, look at doctors. Just because they've got a fucking medical degree doesn't mean to say they know what they're doing. I've been to the doctors many times and they've sat and looked up things on Google. You can't hold all the knowledge in your mind, and not to mention the fact that Lily was in the diary room. She's obviously influenced by her because she's a fucking idiot, but she's like, oh, she can read people's minds. Okay. That is how fucking pathetic and stupid she is. She's going to listen to everything that she says because she thinks that she can read people's minds. That's all we need to know about her. Now, I like people being brutally honest and telling people how they feel about them, but the problem that I had tonight was that Khaled was talking to, I think it was Shaggin and Izaz, and he's like, that, oh, the vibe's off in the house, like, you can't tell me it's not off. And then Izaz was like, oh, I'm just neutral, like, I don't want anything to do with it, because if I say something, one of yous might go down there and say what I've said. But then he fucking toddled on down, and he went straight to Ali and he says, oh, he feels as if the vibes are off. He literally just done the exact thing that he says he didn't want them to do. I don't like him. So at this point, Ali's like, oh, okay, I'll go and talk to him. And then when she went and speak to him, she's obviously like, oh, I don't think you'd been genuine. I think you'd been too nice. Now, let me tell you this. I work with people who are genuinely so nice. You would think it was fake, but I've worked with these people for years and years. I've spent time with them outside work, and some people are just genuinely nice people. But not only that, there's a lot of people who don't like to say the wrong thing because they don't want people to not like them, and that would be amplified times a million if you were on national TV and you've got cameras watching you and you're like, oh, I don't want to come across as a cunt. That wouldn't be possible for me because my mouth speaks before my brain's even thought. So once I've said it, that's it. But keep in mind that Khaled is only 23 and she's 38. And she's sitting there being like, oh, I think you're fake and you don't have to give us a speech and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, no, I really don't like the way that she's speaking to him whatsoever. Now, I'm not trying to say that he's not being fake, but he's not even really had a chance. Maybe he just is a nice guy. And okay, she might think that some people are being too nice, but she's the one who's sneaking him into corners and bitching with Lily and Nathan. I had high expectations for her when she first came in, but this episode I'm just like, nah, can't be going with it. One thing I will say though is that Khaled is trying to say that he's never watched even one episode of Big Brother, which I don't believe. Nobody is going to go on to a TV show that they've never even seen one episode of. And when I watched the Late and Live show, Ryan was on it, and they were like, oh, Ryan's a super fan, and I thought, Ryan's a super fan, and he fucking can't even follow simple instructions in a task. He knew fine well that if he ate that sausage and he was breaking rules deliberately, that people wouldn't like him. Not much of a fucking super fan. We didn't see much of Marcello on the main show tonight, but they did speak quite a bit about him on the Late and Live show, and they were interviewing his friends for TikTok, and they were saying, oh, he's such a genuine guy, and he's so caring, and he's got a degree in English or whatever it was, and I was like, that, right, okay, all fine and well, but that doesn't make him a nice person. Like, even when you see his old videos on TikTok, like he was working for some clothing brand, and he's going round the street interviewing people, like, and nobody likes to be approached in the street. I fucking hate it. Like, being approached off randoms asking you for money or asking you fucking stupid questions. And he's like, oh, do you like my outfit? Like, fashion sense or common sense? And then this one girl walks away from him, and he obviously cannot fathom that a woman would not be interested in him. And he's like, oh, look at this swag. It's obviously not fashion sense. Meanwhile, he's standing there in grey joggies and a fucking grey hoodie. Are you serious right now? So his friends were talking about how much a nice guy he is and how caring he is. And I'm not trying to say that he's not a nice guy whatsoever. But Ryan was saying he does a lot of cooking and cleaning and stuff like that. And Will said, oh, see, like, it's not toxic masculinity red flags. And aye, that's true. It's not as if he's like trying to get the women to do all the work. But one thing that is a fact is that he used to be a chef. And regardless of gender, if you're a chef, you do not like other people cooking. You don't. There's a lot of chefs who don't even let other people in the kitchen. And I don't think that he's just this evil guy. I just think he's a skis bag. To be honest, I think that if he goes out in the next week or two, he's going to be absolutely shocked and devastated at the reaction he's getting, because he's going to get booed like fuck. And when he went in there, he was like, oh, I'm really caring and I'm a youth worker and all that. And we only see 1 hour of 24 hours in the edits, so anything that we've really seen of him is him being sleazy. But that doesn't mean to say that he's like that 24/7. This is just what the editors have chose to show, and it's made him look really bad. That's not to say that I've changed my mind about him being a skis bag. I'm just saying, like, you have to take into consideration that we only see a tiny amount every day. But when it comes to Lily as well, it seems like she's constantly hyperactive and acting like a Wayne, and like Emma said, it's as if she's like directing these things at the camera. And I actually think that she's playing a game as well. She's either playing a really good game, or she really is just that stupid. And both of those outcomes are quite sad. So they revealed on the Late and Live show that Khaled has got a secret power, and it's going to be that whoever's up for nomination, he can either take one of them down and swap them for somebody else, or it can keep them all the same and add somebody else. And for Big Brother UK, this is excellent, because as you know, I love Big Brother Australia. He's evil. He's so evil. And Big Brother UK isn't even like 20% of the evilness of Big Brother Australia, but at least he's trying. And that's all we can ask for. On the Late and Live show, David was spying on the house, and Khaled and Ali were having a really heated discussion, and they were talking about like the secret nominations and the secret powers and all that, and I was like, oh my god, tomorrow night's going to be so good. I can't wait, it's going to be so dramatic. But let me know in the comments what you thought of tonight's episode, and I'll see you again tomorrow.